Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm the epicenter of all things.
Shaking and rolling and whatnot.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
How was your earthquake? Did it excite you?
I mean, it was very surprising since it was at like 2:30 a.m.
Really? So,
Yeah.
We had an earthquake here not too long ago. And by not too long ago,
Oh, yeah?
I mean like 8 years ago. It was when I was living with that one guy, who shall remain nameless because he might listen to the show. It was about 5 a.m. and it shook everything. I think it was like a 5.3.
I doubt that.
Well, it was very far away from here. It was like in Illinois. So by the time it got here, it was minuscule. I woke up at like 5, super dark in my room. I thought he had come in and was just shaking my bed. I was like, that guy pulling pranks. And so I was like, screw this dude. I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. So I rolled over and went back to sleep. Woke up, went to work, got there, and they're all like, so there was an earthquake last night. Like, wait, what? There was? It wasn't just my roommate coming in and being weird?
Oh, was it back in 2008? Because there was a 5.2 in Carmel, Illinois.
Yes, that one.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one. I think where we were, it ended up being like a 2 something.
I think here it was like a 3 or a 4, maybe.
Yeah, like I've been through earthquakes before back home in Indiana, of course, but they are like, oh,
Itty-bitty.
you like wiggle a little and that's the end of it.
Well, there was an aftershock that day at, I think it was around noon, and we didn't know what it was at first because our office didn't have windows at the time. And we thought a dump truck had pulled up next to us and was being very loud. And then someone's like, there was another earthquake.
No, the aftershock was super weird because you could hear it coming.
Oh, could you?
Yeah, it was really strange.
I read something where someone said it sounded like an explosion, and then a couple seconds later, it started rumbling.
Kind of, yeah.
But they were describing the one at night.
I mean, this one was in the middle of the night. Both aftershocks. The big aftershock for ours was like 5 minutes after the main quake.
Oh.
But yeah, when it woke me up in the middle of the night, first thing I thought was a house explosion, like a natural gas house explosion.
That makes sense.
And then I was like, oh wait, earthquakes happen here. And then I figured it out. But the aftershock, that one was the weird one because you heard it coming and then it went by you. That one didn't last very long, but the main quake lasted long enough for it to be in my dream, me to wake up, me to try to figure out what it is, Annie to wake up, Annie and I to have a conversation about what the heck was going on, and then for it to stop. So it had to have been a good like 10, 15 seconds.
So the real question here, though, is what did the cats think about it?
It was in the middle of the night. We had no idea where they were.
Oh, they don't sleep on your bed?
I mean, Tesla does, but he also gets up and prowls because he's a boy cat.
That is what they do.
And if he doesn't prowl, he's going to throw a hissy fit.
Ours just sings the song of his people at 3 a.m.
Yeah, he'll do that too.
Well, besides having major seismic events for your area, what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Well, I finally played Doki Doki Lit Club.
Oh, you did? I thought you'd already played that.
No, I hadn't played it yet.
Okay, well, don't give out spoilers, but what did you think about it?
I thought it was really good. To be perfectly frank, I really thought it was just going to be Baby's first dark VN.
Uh-huh.
I think this is safe enough. After the first ending, I was like, yeah, okay, that was cute and all. But then it grabbed my attention. And then I was like, okay, well, now you have my attention. Let's see if you can keep it. And it did. It's extremely well done.
Now, my question, no spoilers, is did you get to the true ending? Because the game gets real meta.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I hear there is a true ending where after you do all the romances, the game tells you to please stop playing it, please.
Yeah, it does do that.
So I still need to do 2 more romances, and then I'll have it. But
I thought it was really well done. I was not expecting the last 2 endings.
I was pleasantly surprised.
But I think everyone's been spoiled on at least the first ending. A lot of people have been.
Most people know that it's like dark, so you get to the first ending, you're like, okay, well that was cute. And that's how I was. I was like, all right, that's about what I expected. And it did things I did not expect. And I was pleasantly surprised.
In a weird, twisted way. So I've watched a couple things. Me and my wife watched the first 2 episodes of the new Stranger Things season. Have you watched the last 2 seasons at least?
Oh, yeah. I've watched 1 and 2.
So the third one, we haven't really gotten to any of the meat yet, really. It's still a setup phase. I mean, it's probably as good as season 2 was at this point. It's got this one really annoying thing that I really don't like about it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't detract from the show too much yet. But they have this thing where they are just all in on the nostalgia, which they were before, don't get me wrong. But now it's like, for instance, in the first episode, there's a scene where there's some women at a pool and a hot lifeguard walks by, and then he sits there and looks at them. Now, how many transitions of music do you think they had in that scene?
4.
You would be correct. There were 4. It's really grating. I'm like, guys,
I can see that.
I do remember these songs. You don't have to keep doing this. Yeah, and they do that for every.
I was alive right
perspective
around
transition.
then. I remember the 80s songs. They're all very good, but we don't need to hear all of them today.
Guys, the way the first season worked, nostalgia-wise, was great because it was all subtle and we could point at things and be like, hey, I remember that. But when you point them out to us, it detracts from the experience.
It is true.
It's good, apart from that part. I also watched an episode of the Mom video game show.
Oh?
It's very self-aware.
Oh, that's good, at least.
At least from what episode?
How many boob jokes were in the first episode?
1.
Now, is it one repeated or just one instance?
Just one that I was aware of. So there could have been more that just went by. I will say that there's a lot of MILF pandering.
I would expect nothing less.
I would expect nothing less either. And I find it somewhat a welcome departure from the norm.
Which is
lolly
fanning.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
It has taken an interesting turn at the end of the first episode where he's picking a party of people to join with him and his mom. And his mom has decided that this is a marriage interview session.
Oh, I like it.
And she gets crazy eyes. I'm like, okay, I could be down for this.
So speaking of isekai, I went to go see Midsommar, right? Because that director is a genius. But before it, there's those things where it's like coming to AMC theaters and our limited releases. And one of them was Ribbon Tits, the movie. And I was very upset.
I had a friend that was like, I'm so excited to watch this show I've never heard of before. I'm like...
You mean Ribbon Tits?
Yeah, I'm like, you might enjoy it, but it's pretty hot garbage.
Yeah, no one needs to see Ribbon Tits.
No, they don't.
Speaking of Midsommar, have you seen it?
I have not. Is this... I know it's Wicker Man-esque, but does it have bees?
I mean, it is, and no bees. But, I mean, did you see... What's it called? Did you see Hereditary?
No. In fact, I haven't heard of it.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Am I in for a
got
treat?
to watch Hereditary. It's very good. Here's all you need to know about Midsommar.
There's a bear in a cage. Do I even need to watch this?
Bear in a cage. Of course.
It is, in fact, a bear in a cage. Wow. That's quite a song. I don't need that stuck in my head.
But it's a bear.
In a cage.
It's a bear in a cage.
Okay, so there's one other show that I watched one episode of.
Oh, Maidens in Your Savage Season?
Ow. Vinland Saga.
Oh, yeah.
It does have a lot of CG in it. Not gonna lie.
No.
But
That's slightly upsetting.
it's actually done well. Which I didn't think I would ever say. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and this may be controversial, I have no idea.
Okay.
But this show, from what I've seen from one episode, is what Berserk could have been.
I don't think anybody likes the Berserk show, so I think you're pretty safe.
I'm like, if they had done with the Berserk show what they've done here, which is somehow seamlessly transition between CG animation to faux cell animation and back, I can see it because I know what to look for, but it's pretty seamless.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
It's doable. Why didn't you just do that?
Because they hate all life.
I think that's what it is Berserk, so yes. But, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get High Dive in order to see Maidens in Your Savage Season. Which is
High Dive?
High Dive? High Drive? I don't know. It's all of Sentai Works stuff, which means it is the only place to stream the entirety of Legend of the Galactic Hero.
Well, there's perk there then.
So that makes it pretty worth it, because you're like, but I can watch all of Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I mean, that's like 2 years of your life right there.
I know.
You know what else is a year in our life?
I don't know.
It's this Non Non Biyori show that you made me watch.
Oh, I love Non Non Biyori.
Yeah, it's a good show. Let's talk about Non Non Biyori.
All right, let's talk about Non Non Biyori.
So this week on Aniki, we decided to watch Non Non Biyori, which I haven't seen before. It's a really nice slice of life show.
It is.
Got interesting twists and turns in it.
Now, I will say that I feel like Non Non Biyori really sort of, I don't know, it like lacked a certain something. Like it does a very good job with its characters, but it doesn't do a very good job introducing you to the characters. It's like it assumes that you already know who these characters are.
It is kind of weird in that respect.
So if I had one complaint, it would be that. It'd be that it kind of, it assumes you have some pre-knowledge about it, which is just, I just don't understand why it would do that.
That is true. There were a couple of scenes that I felt like were hinting at things that I should know.
Yeah. Or like characters would show up and they wouldn't like fully introduce them. Like what's up with that weird like animal that Renge has as a pet? Like I didn't know anything about that.
Me neither.
When did Hotaru get into making dolls? Like I'm very confused.
And I was very confused by the fact that Komi, when she goes into the room filled with dolls, was just like, yeah, that's a thing you do. Like very nonchalant about it.
Like you would think in a slice of life comedy show, which this is, they would make that like a bigger, like more hilarious scene. Like maybe there's a scene where Hotaru is trying very hard, desperately to hide all the dolls, but ends up failing.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny to watch. And for some reason, the show just doesn't even play with that concept.
So that's the con. I would say that the plus side is it gave me a very strong sense of nostalgia for not only like being there in the place, but also for the characters. Like I knew them from before.
I mean, that's true. It is nice seeing something familiar a second time.
Yeah. Almost like it's repeating.
Yeah. Do you want to go into spoiler land and then just discuss the show? For what plot there is?
Well, what did you think about Non Non Biyori for a start?
Well, I really liked it. I liked how, with a lot of Yonkoma-esque shows, you have multiple vignettes in each show. I really like how in Non Non Biyori, they just really focus in on the two. There's one before the ad break and one after the ad break. And maybe there's a couple of interstitials, but they're very, very low key. So there's usually just two main vignettes every episode. It was nice to explore those more in depth than you normally would in a Yonkoma style show.
Seriously though, I do like the fact that it does bring up a lot of weird nostalgic feelings for a place
tons.
I've never been at and will never see and probably doesn't exist. For a light Yonkoma based slice of life show, there's a lot of Mono no Aware in this.
There really is.
I
absolutely agree. Tons of this won't last.
Yeah, the year is passing. Like last episode was like a month ago. Things have happened. And guess what? They're all going to move away at some point, and we're going to keep reminding you of that.
Yeah. How everyone grows up. Like the bicycle episode is like very sad. It's very sweet, but very sad.
Oh, that brings up a very good point. The
Yeah.
direction in the show is phenomenal.
Oh, it's really well done. It's so good.
Like all the shots, you think, oh, they're just showing idyllic shots to set the scene, kind of like Eurocamp did. And that is basically what Eurocamp did. But this show somehow progresses the plot, and I don't know how.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
It's good. It's well directed.
It is well directed. Especially that sunset scene when Renge's riding the bike. Like,
Oh, yeah.
holy
Just
crap.
the whole bike episode is like probably the best one.
I will say, though, that overall, it's still not a show that I'd really write home about.
I mean,
Like, in the genre of slice of life, it's probably
Yes.
top tier.
I would agree. Yeah, no, that's fair.
But in the grand scheme of
if you want to criticize it outside of that, that's fine. But as far as slice of life shows go, Non Non Biyori is very hard to beat.
I think it's that, maybe Aria.
Aria is really good. It does have mood,
Oh, and Mushishi.
Both Aria and Non Non Biyori. Well, Mushishi's not really a slice of life,
It's
but
a
I
slice
guess
of
you
life
could
show.
kind of. Maybe a little.
Come on now.
But Non Non Biyori and Aria both very much know like what mood they're trying to do, and they execute it extremely well.
Mm.
Their show's about a feeling rather than about plot or characters.
Which is both cute girls doing cute things and the passing away of all things.
Yeah, basically.
So you want to go ahead and get into spoiler land?
Yeah, let's get into spoiler land.
Okay. So now that we're in
Spoiler land, we're obviously talking about Non Non Biyori Repeat, the second season of Non Non Biyori.
way to break the illusion.
Well, I mean, come on, they have to know at some point.
It's probably in the title of the show anyway. So
No, the title of the show. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it will be. Oh, in Non Non Biyori Repeat, yeah, I suppose so.
well, anyway, so the other slight complaint I had is the show is a little too focused on Renge.
It's true, but that comes with the second caveat of the whole fact that one of the interesting things about Non Non Biyori Repeat is that it is much more narratively focused than Non Non Biyori was.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about the first season.
Non Non Biyori is a lot more vignette-y. It does cycle around the girls a lot more than Repeat, but it's a little more comedy where this is a little more slice of life. This very focuses on true narratives. And yeah, it's mostly focusing on Renge in that narrative. Renge and Hotaru for the most part.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the little girl that Renge meets.
Yeah, she doesn't even appear in this show.
Was it Rin?
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever. She wasn't in this season at all.
So here's the other fun thing. Is this a do-over or what?
It's sort of a... So we basically did an episode a month last time. Here's some more episodes from those months. That was the sense I got. Filling in the gaps a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So the original show takes place over the one whole school year, basically. Spring to spring.
Mm-hmm.
And this one still goes in that same direction, but sort of skips around a little more. It doesn't feel as beholden to do like 3 episodes per season. Starts where the first season started, but it's like it's doing different vignettes.
Well, it's slightly before, because I think in Non Non Biyori, the original season, they were all in school already.
Yeah, it starts with Hotaru showing up.
Yeah, and this one starts with Renge going to school
The day before school starts.
And it ends slightly past the end of the first season. Because at the end of the first season, they're like, we're all going to go flower viewing together, and it'll be great. And this time we see it.
Yep.
And it was great.
So it's like it's different vignettes from the same time span that the original one
So I guess...
went through, which is very interesting. It was a very interesting way to do a sequel season.
So let's take a little bit, since this show is weird with its sequel, let's take a little bit of a detour from normal. And instead of like going through all the characters and what we like about them, how about we go through all the characters and what did we learn new about them?
That's interesting. This is predicated on me remembering more about what was only in the first season than I think I am able to do. But
This season hints at a lot of things from the last season. It brought up a lot of stuff.
that's true. Well, I think I can start with my favorite thing, because first off, Hotaru is probably my favorite character in the show. I like Hotaru a lot.
She's still 10 years old.
Yeah, no, she's probably, I did some math, she's probably more like 11 or 12.
Okay,
yes,
fine.
She is not old. She hit puberty early. Sorry for her and for what's her name? Komari. Sorry, Komari. Life is hard. But I do love how you get the scene of her actually being immature in front of her mom.
That was nice.
Because she's always sort of the mature, straight one out of all of them. But with her mom, she's just like such a little kid.
That's the one thing that probably would have helped the season a lot more. I like that they did that particular vignette, but it would have been nice if that vignette had fed more into Hotaru's growth, because she is kind of like a stick in the mud all the time. In fact, every time I saw her, I kept thinking of this.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just her character. She's awkward.
Yeah, she is. I mean, that's her job. Her job is the city stand-in, right? Because, like, in theory, you're probably watching the show from an urban area in Japan and getting nostalgic feelings for the countryside where you've never been. So you need some sort of stand-in character to be you, and that's who Hotaru is. Which is fine.
But I was hoping that, she'd come out of her shell a little bit more. But again, this is covering the exact same cycle as the first season, so there's not a whole lot you can do with that while still remaining faithful.
I do like how we get some more of Renge's wonderful puns and her dry sense of humor. And one thing that I watched a repeat with my wife, and one thing that she really enjoyed is how much Renge acts like a bossy 6-year-old, because that's how little kids are bossy, where they're just like, we are doing this now. I am sorry, but this is happening.
You're going to play dolls with me, and you're going to be the baby.
You're the baby.
Have this thing.
And if you're not saying babu babu,
life is over.
Yeah, it's like that is the end of the world.
I will say that it was a big shock to me to find out that Renge is secretly Dio. I didn't know that was going to be a thing, but here we are.
Is secretly Dio? How are you getting that?
Really? You don't remember?
Oh, yes. That she is a practitioner of Sosuns.
Let me see if I can find a GIF.
Yes, I remember this GIF.
Soons. Well, I gotta find one for the show notes.
She's a Sosooner. I mean, that's just the way she is. I also like how there was a pun that the translating team was pretty much unable to translate whatsoever.
Oh, which one was that?
So there's the one where they're catching bugs, right? And they figure out Natsu is really good at sort of nature lore and knows how to catch bugs. And they find her catching katydids. And then later she helps Renge and Hotaru, I think, catch like nymph stage cicadas.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they get to talking about they're going to watch the cicada metamorphosize as their school project. And Natsu is like, I won't do that. I'm going to slack off all summer. Renge starts calling her, one of them calls her the name of what they're going to name this little cicada nymph. Renge says, no, I'm not going to call you that. I'm going to call you Katydid. Well, brother.
Yes, I'm ready for my esoteric pun.
Do you know what the word Katydid is in Japanese?
Surprisingly, I do not off the top of my head.
It is kirigiri. Now, what is the phrase that one uses when you are getting away with something by the skin of your teeth in Japanese?
Giddy giddy?
It is giri, which would perfectly describe what Natsu is trying to get away with.
Those poor translators.
Yeah, they just gave up. They just didn't do it. Only if you know Japanese and are listening to it will you be able to catch this pun. I guess they could have done it with like I'll call you a Katie didn't. Like she didn't do her homework. Be a bit of a stretch. Either way, the beat of silence after Renge says that is pretty priceless. And right after that's when they cut to the ad break for the show.
So I do like one of the things that they did with Renge here is they didn't just make her the bossy 6-year-old. Like most shows, when you've got a 6-year-old, they're always like the know-it-all. They're secretly a genius, and this show does do a little bit of that.
Just a little with the times tables, but that's mostly like you could see a kid doing that. It's just like you tell them the trick of how timetables work, and they're like, "Oh
well,
no!"
There's some other things too, like when she did the drawing of the New Year's animal.
Oh yeah,
and she did both a sheep and a monkey.
Yeah, but I don't think she intended to.
It's questionable. That's why they don't like point out, yeah, she's a genius. It's like she could be a genius. I don't know. Anyway,
it'd be hard pressed for anyone to call Renge an actual genius.
Yeah, it's where she goes over to Natsu's house, but they're not home. And the neighbor, whose name I forget.
I love that
like,
scene.
I'm a monster. And she's like, really? How do you know? And she does the thumb trick and just totally fools her.
She's so blown away.
And then to further prove it, she takes her up to a room where she learned monster skills so she could take her monster entrance exam. And gives her a book of, quote, spells, which is just a Chinese lit book.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is delightful. I love everything about this.
That's also where you do the timetables thing. But nothing is quite as precious as when Natsu and Komari also do the finger trick, and Renge just like almost actually dies. She almost dies. I do like how this season gives you a little more growth or a little more characterization of Candy Store.
Man, Candy Store has a huge heart boner for Renge.
I want a show that's just Candy Store.
It would be very interesting. I like when they went through her old clothes randomly.
Yeah.
Where she's got the frilly dress, she's got the dinosaur pajamas, and she's got the Bancho outfit. It's like, what were you?
The cool kid, obviously. Also, the show where Candy Store makes them okonomiyaki is criminal. Because I want that okonomiyaki.
It was very delicious. There was a lot of food porn going on there.
There's lots of scenery porn as well. Now, how about, what's another good thing to talk about? The Teru Teru Bozu incident.
Yeah, so about that.
Where Renge gets terrifying.
See, Komi has a heart condition. And really, the other characters need to be very sensitive to her heart condition.
They should be, but they're not. Well, I mean, if she wasn't jumping up and down trying to get cell reception, maybe she would have a better heart.
She's going to do herself a mischief at some point.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I lost it when, what's the teacher's name? Kaze? Is that her name?
Nene.
Kazu?
I just always know her by Nene.
I think it's Kazu.
Oh, so. Yeah, when she's got the mask on too and Komari knocks on the door.
I did not see that coming.
Oh, it's very good.
That was fantastic. I had to pause and collect myself.
It's very good. It's very good.
Oh my goodness.
The episode where Renge learns about death is very sad, and you wouldn't think that would exist in the show, but it does.
Well, not just death, but life too. She learns a lot in that episode.
She does. It's a very good episode. It's very cute.
It's one of those episodes where you realize, that one and the bike one, that direction is just phenomenal because nothing of importance really happens on screen.
No.
Like, they always cut away and then they come back and you just see the reactions of characters to the thing that happened. Because they just go from, hey, there are a couple of the little shrimp things swimming around, and you as an adult see that, like, this isn't going to go well.
And it's like, yeah.
And then they just come back the next day, and she's just staring at it, and you know she found out. And then there's a grave.
Like, yeah, it's sad. But Natsu shows her nature skills by realizing that they probably laid some eggs. They're a type of brine shrimp, so if you just rehydrate them, they'll hatch. And they do. And she has a little baby flatty chance.
Sometimes Natsu is smart. Not many times,
only
but
in
sometimes.
very certain things. Only in certain things.
Like bugs. She's very good at bugs. Yeah. And catching fish with a bear hug.
Yes. The secret fifth character remains on point for the entire season.
They didn't use him quite as much as they did in the first season.
They did not. Well, there's only so much you can do with a character that says nothing. But when they do, they use him well.
Probably my best scene with Nissan is when they're doing wood shop.
Oh, yeah, and he makes like a wicker basket.
It's not just a wicker basket. It's they're going around from, hey, everybody has to make something out of the wood on their desk. All you get is some planks of wood, a little saw, and some nails. Go wild. And they go to one group, and they're like, we're going to build a little bookshelf. They go to another group of Renge and Natsun, and they're goofing off.
And they come up with...
And then they quickly cut over to Nissan, and somehow he's got the thing in a circle. And then they just cut back.
Don't worry about it.
Let's not mention that. Like, dude, what are you doing?
So there's a really great, more subtle joke. It's just in like episode 3, where they're taking the tests.
Mm-hmm.
And their tests are bad, and Nissan / Megane does something that makes Natsu upset. And Natsu takes his glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And then they all get their tests back, and they all did so poorly they have to retake it. And you're like, now wait a minute. Nissan is really smart. That's like his thing, is that he's always smart enough. And then you're like, wait. He did not have his glasses to take the test.
Well, if you look in the background of that scene when Natsu's wearing the glasses, he's got his face like a half inch from his desk.
So you're like, Nissan failed the test because he did not have his glasses. And that's a very good story that is just all in the background.
I also liked when he kept getting hit with fish.
That was good as well.
That was a good joke. I like that joke. Little fish, big fish, little fish.
He keeps letting them go.
He's a good older brother. What about Hika?
Oh, she's in this a little bit more than usual, which was nice. It was nice to see her a bit more.
I like how in the first series, it just felt like she was trying a little too hard. Like when she came back from Tokyo to make herself out to be this thing. And you're like, oh, that's well, true. She gets knocked down a peg or two and then she's gone. So you figure she's over it. But in this season, you find out she always wants to be bigger than her station.
The cool kid from the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she fails miserably.
She's one of these people that's like obviously a high school freshman who's trying to act like they're grown up and mature, but is really basically still a middle schooler.
She's pretty basic, and she doesn't know it. It's sad.
I am upset that they didn't redo the thing with Hotaru out-citying her, because that's still like one of the best things in all of first season.
I was hoping for a joke along those lines. We didn't get it. One thing that I did learn about Hika is that she is still very much, she's the middle sister.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference because everybody else treats Renge like the precious angel that she is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Except Hika.
But
Hika's like, I'm just going to troll the hell out of this chick. I don't care.
Playing dolls with you.
But what's great is Renge gets her back like all the time.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite scene with the two is the Dio punching scene. But while that gif is amazing, and I will treasure it forever, there's something that happens right around that point where Hika tries to peep on whatever Renge's drawing with some binoculars.
Oh, that is very good.
And Renge just gives her this look of utter disgust.
Well, because
really?
Hika doesn't quite realize that Renge is standing right there, like under the binoculars where she cannot see her. And she's just like, come on. Are these the depths to which you have sunk?
Is this your final form? Because if it is, I am woefully underwhelmed. Let's see. What about Sensei? Did we learn anything new about Sensei?
I don't think we do. She's still lazy.
I want to know where all their parents are. Like, we see Hotaru's mom.
We also see
Natsu's mom.
Komari and Natsu's mom. So we see some moms from time to time. But usually they're just out in the fields or out at work, probably in the city somewhere.
I wonder how far away from Tokyo this is.
I don't know. It shouldn't be too far.
I mean, they can take train, but it seems to be very inconvenient to do so.
I think given the environment, I think they're on the backside of Japan. I think they're on the west side of Japan. So I think getting from there to Tokyo isn't that far distant-wise, but it is a massive pain. That would be my guess, but I don't know where this takes place.
I don't know. It seems like it's at least a couple hours away.
Considering how much snow they get in the winter, I bet they're on the western side of Japan. Either that or they're way up north. I'm sure somebody who actually knows like Japanese accents
that's a
would
good
probably
point.
be able to tell a little bit more. But if I know. I would say they're either in the northern part of Honshu or on the western side of Honshu, but I don't know.
What about Komari? We learn anything new about Komari?
I do not believe so, other than she's still very short.
She is very short. I learned that she is totally okay with people making hundreds and hundreds of dolls of her.
Dolls of her? Yeah, no, that's a little weird. It's a little chill of her, though. You'd think as somebody who is cast as the anxious one, she would be she'd be a little more concerned about this. Oh, one thing we do learn about Hotaru is that she can bust out those dolls extremely quickly.
How'd she do that? Where do I learn those skills?
She busts out a doll of everyone else in the main cast in the time it takes Komari to fix her old stuffed teddy bear.
That's got to be like an afternoon at most.
I know.
And she busted out what? 5?
I guess
How?
4 extras.
How are you doing that?
She's good, man. I don't know.
She must have already had sketches and such. And she just had a piece of it
I'm
together.
guessing she had pre-cut cloth, but yeah.
She probably cut them out at some point. It's like, I could put these together, or I could make another Koma chain.
Yeah, that's probably it. I don't think I want to go in depth about the bicycle episode because I think everybody just needs to go see that. Like, if you watch nothing else of the show, you have to watch, what is it? It's episode
10.
Just watch that. I don't think you even need all that much.
No, because that's also got the monster episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I should point out that, technically speaking, it's not monster, because that'd be Bake.
It's a yokai.
It's yokai. So that's not why
It's a
she's
yokai.
totally terrified. But
Yeah.
that sunset shot is such a
it's just
good
also
shot.
good.
There's a lot of feels
Where-
going on in that simple shot.
No, it's real good. It's such a good episode.
Well, if you do want to go into something more in depth that isn't something
Yeah.
people really need to experience, how about where people come in and clean up Natsun and make her act ladylike for a bit?
That's really cute.
It's
And
really
very
cute.
good. And I love how self-conscious she is about getting her picture taken when she's dolled up like that.
She doesn't want any part of it. I like how she reverts at the moment people are like, hey, why don't you let us take a picture of you?
Yeah.
And she's
She's
like,
nope.
put a pin in that real quick. And then comes back wearing a fisherman outfit.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
I will say I do love Renge's reaction to seeing her. It's like, someone new.
That's actually kind of my reaction when they first cut to this redhead in the mirror.
Yeah.
For a split second, I'm like, who's that? Oh,
It's like, it's Natsun.
I didn't know she could be like that.
Yep. She can also accidentally steal, was it moon viewing buns? Yeah, it was the buns for moon viewing.
You can't steal those.
And that was very good.
Took all the dumplings. Man, that whole episode was like, how dumb can you get? Oh, I see you've upped your game. Oh, wow. You took
Yep.
it to a whole new level there.
They try very hard to get out of this, and I just love that she's just like, "Oh, if we're making mochi, then I guess it's okay that we ate all the dumplings." And it's like, "Oh, now you have to manage the grill for the mochi."
You were given an out. All you had to do was take it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's really all you need. Ichigo, Non Non Biyori Repeat is still real good.
It's a good compliment to the first season. It'd be interesting if somebody like spliced them into quote unquote
Yeah, I was
chronological
kind of
order.
thinking about that too. Right?
I don't know
So
how
that
you
would be
do
really
it.
interesting.
By the way, would you like to know something fun?
Sure.
There are 2 things. One is last year, an anime film came out based on the manga, and it's about them going on vacation.
Oh, of Non Non Biyori.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
And now for my second piece of information. A third season was announced.
What?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
When was that announced?
That was announced back in May.
Oh, well, good for it. Good old Non Non Biyori. It knows its mood and knows how to sell its mood. Are they just going to do... Is it going to be repeat? Are they going to do it again? Or are they actually going to do a new year?
I would hope they do a new year, because I don't think anyone's graduating except for
I think the
Nissan.
only one that would... Yeah, Nissan would be the only one to graduate. And while he's good for gags, it's really not... he literally has no spoken lines.
I think it would be interesting, though, if they want to keep Ringei as the quote-unquote main character, of having another kid join the class who's younger than her.
That would be interesting.
Because now she sort of isn't the cutest one there. She still will be, but she won't be the one everyone dotes on.
Also, I would love the way that she is able to lord over like the middle schoolers. I would love to see her lord over someone actually younger than her and just see that dynamic, because that would be an interesting dynamic to see.
Her tyranny.
Yeah.
She's pretty tyrannical. I don't know how she gets away with any of it.
I don't know. Probably her infinite adorableness.
I think you're right. It's like the moment she gets sick, how does Candy Store react?
Oh boy.
She's right there.
She's in a heartbeat.
So yeah, everybody should watch that. And what should we watch next?
I have no idea. Oh, we could do Zombieland Saga.
I've heard good things about that. All right, so next time we're going to watch Zombieland Saga and get wrapped at by zombies.
That. Sure.
Good old Truck Coon. Isekaiing all the people.
I guess it's wrong to pick up girls in dungeons.
The answer is yes. Forever yes. That's the answer to that question. We don't have to watch that. All right, well, see you next time.
All right, yeah, bye forever. I'm going to see if there's anything worth watching on this other streaming service.